Today on Black Twitter Talk, we are talking Childish Gambino's new album, Awaken My Love, and J. Cole's new documentary, Eyes, and much, much more. Stay tuned. Hey. It's that new Childish Gambino. This one is California. I love them all. I don't know which one's my favorite yet. Thanks for joining Black Twitter Talk. This is your girl, Angie Skates. You can find me on Twitter at Angie_Skates.
What's up, everybody? It's your girl, Kels. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at TheUrbanGypsyLA.
Hey. So today on Black Twitter Talk, I think it's only appropriate that we talk Childish Gambino. Let's start with that.
Yes.
Oh my God, I'm so inspired. Like, this album has given me life. Childish Gambino, I didn't even know what a Childish Gambino was before.
Me neither.
Like, seriously, honestly, people were talking about it when Kendrick's album, To Pimp a Butterfly, came out. Like, I'm just going to sit back and listen to my Childish Gambino. I'm just
really?
like, what? You know, and then he has his hit show, Atlanta. So people are saying that it's only being talked about as much because of the success of that show, which I beg to differ. Like, you have a...
Differ.
Yeah, no, seriously. So Childish Gambino, his debut album, Camp, came out in 2011. We have Because the Internet, that came out in 2013. And I guess these were rap albums because he's a rapper. He's also a writer, screenwriter. He wrote for 30 Rock. He wrote and starred in Atlanta. So he's extremely multi-talented. But people are not really vibing with this album. Either they are or they're not. They're decidedly so splitted because it's not a hip-hop album.
Somebody tweeted, "I'm selfish. I wanted another hip-hop project from Childish Gambino. Sheesh. I understand artist progression, but just not a fan of this album."
Like, why not? Like, the spirit of this album is so damn funky.
It's so funky.
Like, it's intoxicatingly funky. I love it. I feel like it's protest music in a box.
Really? I didn't get protest music. I just got real funky music from back in the day. Like, if you like music, real music and instruments and music, then you'll like this album.
I think it inspired by a period of music. Parliament comes to mind. George Clinton, you know, that kind of psychedelic funk. But it came in a time in the 70s where I feel like everything was just really revolutionary in the culture and in the art. And it's very reminiscent of that time. So, and even lyrically, like, the things that he's saying, it's just like, holy shit, Donald.
I mean, it's very black. If you look at the cover, we can already tell that it's not your typical run-of-the-mill album. This is about to be a very black, very creative album.
It's a theatrical production, a psychedelic funk.
Yeah, I rock with that.
He says that this album was an exercise of feeling and tone, and some of the themes that he explored on it, which I love, are parenthood, racism, more specifically fear of blackness, and the complexities of love. And he says that this is a shared vibration of human progress. And I can feel all of that on there. I hear Bootsy Collins on this album. I hear Sly and the Family Stone. I hear Outkast. I hear Little Prince in the vocals. People are comparing this to D'Angelo's latest album, which I feel like is a little bit of a stretch.
I think so too. I think maybe D'Angelo's album, in the way that you said that this is revolutionary and it's real music, but as far as the style and everything, it's like a time warp. It's surprising that it's from a current artist, and a young artist at that.
And then even the gospel chords on Me and Your Mama, like, I feel bluesy too on this album sometimes, and I'm really inspired by Childish Gambino, because sometimes you gotta open the bruise up and let some of the blues blood come out and show them.
I like that.
You know? And he did that.
I'm inspired by him too, just because of everything that he did with Atlanta, which is a crazy creative show. I was binge watching on the second half of the season, and there were other things that he did creatively that I'm like, am I watching the same show? Because this is still good, but it just went a whole different direction than I expected. And then to see this album, it's like, whoa, who are you? Where have you been my whole life?
Exactly. He's onto something. And like I said, I didn't know what a Childish Gambino was a couple of years ago, but I'm definitely a fan. And a lot of people on Twitter, Black Twitter, you know, they always have something to say. Always. They're like, you know what, this is cool, this is okay, but they're pumped about that new J. Cole, right? Like, it's not even out yet, and why we gotta pit everybody against each other?
Well, I didn't even know that they were comparing those two, because again, they are not in the same realm.
At all.
But J. Cole did just release a new documentary called Eyes, which is a behind-the-scenes look at his new album, which is set to release December 9th. And in the documentary, he releases 2 songs that we're expecting to be on the album. The first song, I don't even know what the title of that song was, but he's like kind of calling out the new age rappers, the Lil Uzis and all these rappers who we know the song, but we don't even know their name because they're pretty much gonna phase out more than likely. But
the one-hit wonders.
Yes. But the song that got, I think, a lot of attention for me was the False Prophets. And in that first verse, he calls out Kanye West. I have the verse here. I want to say some of the lyrics.
Kanye? This J. Cole.
Let me see. He goes, yeah, life is a balance. You lose your grip. You can slip into an abyss. No doubt you see these guys. I'm going to say guys instead of the N-word. You see these guys tripping. Ego in charge. Ego in charge of every move. He's a star, and we can't look away due to the days he caught our hearts. He's falling apart, but we deny it. Justifying that half-ass shit he dropped, we always buy it. When he tells us he a genius, but is a When he tells us he a genius, but it's clearer lately, it's been hard for him to look into the mirror lately. There was a time when this guy was my hero. Maybe that's the reason why his fall from grace is hard to take, because I believed him when he said his shit was purer than he. The type of guy, swear he real, but all around him is fake. The women, the dick riders, you know, the yes men, nobody with the balls to say something to contest him. And he goes on basically calling Kanye out for falling from grace and into this whole new realm of fuckery.
I mean, honestly, J. Cole, I don't dislike the guy. I listened to his last album, Forest Hills Drive. It did get some you know, spin in my rotation. But I'm not checking for J. Cole. I think after hearing this song and then the other song and then watching a little bit of the documentary, he's grown up a lot in his craft. And I think, you know, I'm interested, honestly, to see what he has to say, because he's saying that Kanye is somebody that he looked up to, and he's not fulfilling
his expectations.
Exactly.
Yeah, for me, J. Cole, like, to me, I would, instead of comparing J. Cole to Childish Gambino, I would compare him, if I had to Kendrick Lamar. And I'm a Kendrick fan all day.
All day.
Like,
every day.
Hardcore Kendrick fan. So I wouldn't, if I had to choose, I'm choosing Kendrick, but I enjoy J. Cole. Like, I don't necessarily follow his music to the T as his fans do, but I do like to watch his interviews, because I feel that he is another guy who, you know, we get to see both sides. He talks about things that are affecting the community, but yeah, he does still have a few lyrics that are misogynistic and, you know, kind of basic.
Yes,
so
very much
I can understand if you hear one or two of the songs where you be like, oh, I'm not really into him. But I think overall as a person, he has matured a lot since his last album dropped in 2014.
I guess we'll see. I honestly, like I said, I wasn't checking for it, but after watching the documentary and seeing J. Cole, he looked cute with his little...
I like his dress. I feel like he's a truth teller at the end of the day. Whatever his truth is, regardless if you agree with it, he's going to tell it.
I think the fact that he's calling out Kanye West, who seems to be on this pedestal or falling from grace, that was his pedestal way up here, and you see him being captured in a very simple video, riding on the back of a truck. He doesn't have on any gaudy chains. He's just like one of us, a man of the people, and he's, you know, given his perspective, his flow is up to par. Lyrically, he's up to par. So I wasn't checking for his record before. Like, I was just enjoying Childish Gambino. Didn't really understand the comparison. But I'm going to have to listen now.
Yeah, I want to see what else he says. Because I like, even after he goes in on Kanye, he ends it basically with saying, but clearly he's calling out for help.
Pretty much. And I don't know, we're here for Kanye. I'm also here for the women who suffer from mental illness, like Azealia Banks. I don't I don't think a lot of people were rallying to support her, and we clearly know that she has issues. But this is a great year for music.
It's an amazing
It's an amazing year for music. We've had some jacked up stuff happen, but we had Anderson .Paak, we have Solange, we had Chance the Rapper. Now this Childish Gambino album. We're looking forward to J. Cole. Drake is supposed to drop something.
And even though Kanye crazy, he dropped his thing.
And it was a good album. It was, and
even if you didn't like the album, his stage design for his concert, sick.
It's
never
amazing.
been done.
He's an artist.
He's a human.
He is a human, and I respect his art form.
It's definitely like a renaissance, a artistic renaissance happening over the last couple of years.
I'm here
for it. It's exciting to see, Yeah,
not even just in music, but in film too, and in television too. Like, we've come a long way, like in shaping our narratives and being the authors and the engineers and the creative forces behind our narratives using our images. And right? It's all good.
Yes.
On a little down note, we got to talk about it, y'all. I know you guys have heard about the former NFL player Joe McKnight, who was gunned down in New Orleans. This happened a couple of days ago. 28, former New York Jet player. He was unarmed, and he was gunned down in a fit of rage, road rage, by an older white man, Ronald Gasser, who was 54. And I think, we hear about black men and women being gunned down all the time. The, Trayvon Martin case with George Zimmerman kicked off the movement, Black Lives Matter. And, we've seen a slew of police violence against unarmed black men. But I'm tired, y'all. I don't know that I have the strength to talk about it, but we're going to do it. So the story here is the fact that Ronald Gasser, who gunned down this man, stayed on the scene, confessed to the crime, the murder, in New Orleans. Jefferson Parish Police, they still released him that night. Like, they released him that night. They let him go. And it's like, you have black people, you have minorities, you have people in jail serving time for things that are not violent crimes. They're drugs, they're less offenses,
or even things they didn't even do,
and they're being held.
They fit the description.
They're being held in jail, and you have this man who is a confessed killer, and Jefferson Parish decided to let him go. I mean, like, what the?
I don't know. You have they'll arrest you at a traffic light while you sitting at a red light
and
for nothing.
Ask questions later.
Exactly.
Like, your ass is going to jail, and we're going to talk about it later.
I don't even understand how he could be released. On what terms can you just release this man who confessed to murdering somebody?
And apparently the defense that he's using is the same one that George Zimmerman used to kill Trayvon Martin, is a stand your ground law.
Stand your ground for what? What is he doing to you? So flicked you off for cutting him off? Like,
the thing is, in 2006, this man was found in a similar incident.
I saw that.
Beating a 51-year-old man up for something that happened. It's like a road rage incident. And he was let go or acquitted or wasn't charged for that incident either. So here we have a man who is repeating violent tendencies, having this violent pattern reoccur, and you're not holding him. If the shoe was on the other foot, however, and this was a black man who committed a murder, or a man of color that committed a murder, his ass would be in jail for sure.
Without question.
Without question.
The system is just...
It's broken. It's broken. Joe McKnight, 28 years old. He played 3 seasons at USC from 2007 to I can't talk either. 2009. He left school because he was a 4th-round draft pick for the New York Jets, and then he ultimately tore his ACL. So he was playing in like a minor league.
His fans, all his teammates, everybody has to be crushed around this story. Like, because if you know this man personally, then you know he didn't deserve. I mean, I don't know him, but I don't even think, even not knowing him, I don't think no man deserves to get killed because he cuts you off or something.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, and it's so...
I mean, people go to jail sometimes if they can't properly prove self-defense. So I don't understand how this stand your ground law makes... What is... I don't understand.
We have Brescia, who's in jail for killing her abusive father. Like, she was a 15-year-old girl who killed her abusive father, and he's a known abuser. She's still in jail. She's still in jail. Like, it's ridiculous. This is case in point that Black lives don't matter in Louisiana, Jefferson Parish, to be exact. Case in point. Which brings us to the next story.
Yikes.
Why? Okay,
Please
why?
tell me
somebody
why.
tell me why Trevor Noah and Charlemagne the God are best buds with Tomi Lahren?
Well, you are being very media clickbait right now, because who said they were best friends, Angie?
I said they best buds because after Trevor interviewed Tomi Lahren on The Daily Show with her uninformed self, they were seen having drinks at night, and Charlemagne is posting pictures of her, and she has the same outfit on out and about, talking about are you colorblind or do you see color, or whatever the clickbait he used. Like, you know, I'm a little, I don't know, I'm rubbed the wrong way. Y'all got me feeling some kind of way over here.
Yeah. So if you guys haven't seen the interview with Tomi Lahren and Trevor Noah, it's definitely, did I say it wrong?
You call her Lauren. I think
Oh,
it's
well.
Lahren.
That's disrespectful. Oh, well. Whatever that girl name is, that's so rude. And Trevor Noah, it's really worth watching. But it might make you mad, because as I'm watching it, I started to get very upset watching her, because they were discussing the different issues, and he would ask her something, she would explain her logic behind what she believes, and then he would use her own logic to try to explain to her why it didn't make sense, and she would not get it. So it was just frustrating to watch.
It was. They were talking about Black Lives Matter, and how she always says they're the new KKK. They talked Colin Kaepernick and his peaceful protest, and they also talked Trump. But a lot of the arguments that she has formulated with her uninformed self, Trevor Noah very eloquently dismantled that argument, and I still don't think she got it. It wasn't clear. But one of the things that I didn't like about the interview is how it humanized her to me. Like, because when I'm seeing her on her show, she's just a loudmouth, just regurgitating a lot of stereotypes and hate that are just really uninformed, you know? But the way that Trevor Noah spoke to her, because I watched the full interview, it just gave her a softness that wasn't there prior to. And I don't want to see that kind of racist, that kind of ignorance in that light. Like, I don't like that.
I mean, at the end of the day, she is human. All of these racist people or ignorant people are human. She's very ignorant.
She chooses to be ignorant.
Yeah, because that's what my thing is. We were discussing this earlier. Audre Lorde said the most dangerous person is an educated Black woman. But watching this, while I'm watching it, I have to beg to differ, and I'm starting to think that the most dangerous woman might be an educated white woman who is ignorant to issues outside of their own community. Yeah,
she's a pseudo intellect. I don't really think that she's highly educated, because she asks questions like, what did the KKK do?
Well, she's well spoken.
She's articulate.
Nothing else. She's very articulate and very talented. She's built this entire platform. We can't take that from her. But I just what she did. She has 65 million views on a video that she put on Facebook. Like, what the heck?
It's a lot of racists in America.
But what my point is being that, as far as educated white women being kind of dangerous, is the fact that she just, anything that you said, like, it just bounced off of her. Like, her head was like a brick. Like, it can make perfect sense, but it just bounced off, and she would just say something completely different. And then it also shows in the election how a lot of white women voted for Donald Trump, even though some of his views are clearly sexist and he wants to take away some of women's rights, but they still go that way because
they can.
They're privileged.
They're privileged. They're cloaked in privilege. And I think, okay, I'll give you the fact that you may not be racist in the sense that you hate Black people in your day-to-day life, but you can afford to look past someone's racism, past someone's sexism, because you are cloaked in that privilege. Whereas, to me, I don't have that. Like, I can't afford to say, oh, he's racist, but that's not a determining factor for me because I'm cloaked in my privilege. Yeah. I don't have that.
And I guess her argument is that would be us playing the victim or something. I don't know. I couldn't take her. And then I also, with her and Charlemagne, like, he went on her show back in February because he gave her Donkey of the Day after she
deservedly so.
Yeah, after she went in on Beyonce for her Super Bowl performance, saying that she
is married to a drug dealer and all this other,
and that she was doing they were doing saluting the Black Panthers, which is a terrorist group according to Tomi.
Yeah, so it's Black Lives Matter according to Tomi, but the actual terrorist group KKK didn't do anything. Anyway,
it's just crazy.
It's ridiculous. And she actually was scheduled to do an interview on The Breakfast Club, but after doing the interview with Trevor Noah, canceled it. So she's not going to appear on the show anymore. And I guess maybe she felt some kind of way after Trevor so eloquently dismantled her arguments.
I guess I want to believe the reason why they're out having lunch or dinner and drinks is because they're continuing the conversation off air about what's going on, and they're taking steps to try to educate her or try to break through those boundaries. I want to believe that, but it's that part that's like, why?
It's just like, I'm at the point where it's not my place to educate you. And if Trevor Noah wants to do that, that's fine. But, like, can we build with people that are in the knowing? Like, there are so many outspoken, well-spoken, articulate black women that are for the cause, that help put the cause together. And even though across the board, you know, it's a movement that's far-reaching, like, I haven't seen any of that interaction go on. And Charlemagne is one to go out and go out of his way to make people cry, for instance. Little Mama.
I think everybody makes Little Mama cry.
I mean, but still.
Or at least tries to.
Whatever. It makes me uncomfortable. And a lot of people on Twitter are saying that Trevor Noah and Charlemagne the God are coons because of their interaction with Tomi Lahren. And I definitely understand that sentiment. But you know, I don't know. I
do too.
I don't
part
have
of
the
it
answers.
I don't either. We just here talking. I think part of it has to do with them, you know, wanting to build their following. She has 65 million followers. They have this many. They have this. So when they come together, it continues to grow. I think some of it is very narcissistic and egotistic, and that's what it comes down to sometimes with these TV personalities, online personalities.
More above the narcissism, it's a business at the end of the day, and we might have gotten played, y'all, because we talking about her.
I know.
Oops.
Hey, girl. Hey, what
Hey.
you? Never mind.
Let's move on.
What's next, girl?
Girl, Tom Ford. I knew I had a special place in my heart for Tom.
Cute.
He real cute. He kind of real fine. Hey, there you go. He refuses to dress Melania Trump, and there are other designers that refuse too, but he came out on The View and spoke very publicly about his views, and a lot of people are split again on this decision. Some people are saying they would prefer that he keeps his politics to himself, but this isn't the first time Tomi has decided to not decline dressing Melania. It happened a few years ago, and his whole reasoning behind it is that his brand is really expensive, and when you have a woman that is supposed to be representative of the people, yet they're being dressed in clothes that regular people can't afford, what kind of message is that giving? However, I just want to say that he did dress FLOTUS, Michelle Obama, in all her fabulous glory when she met the Queen in England. And he said that was a different crowd, that was a different occasion, and he dressed her. But he won't dress Melania. I kind of like that. A lot of people are boycotting Tom Ford. A lot of people that can't afford Tom Ford are boycotting Tom Ford, so I'm sure he don't feel you. But what are your thoughts on that?
I just think it's funny because I think back to when we, on another episode, we talked about the actress from Ghostbusters, Leslie Jones, and
how nobody wanted to dress
her for a red carpet premiere event for the movie. So I just think it's interesting, and I just like when the tables are turned and you get a little bit of your own treatment. You know what I'm saying? So I just think it's funny. I feel like she'll be fine without Tom Ford dressing her, but I'm glad Tom Ford stood, is like, nah, I'm cool. I don't like you that much.
You ain't gonna make me or break me. Marc Jacobs also declined to dress Melania. Some designer called Sophie Fillette. I never even heard of her. It must be outside of my
and it's not even range. Like, I'm not here to judge her past or anything, like nothing like that. But it's kind of like, let's not forget, you stole a whole ass speech. Like, you don't deserve to be dressed. You don't even hire someone to write your speeches.
Yeah, and that's what he said. Like, she steals speeches and have bad taste in men. Like, like, I don't want to dress her. Twitter is so funny. Like, I love Twitter.
They be going in.
Yeah, they do. There was a meme on Twitter where they're like, oh, Tom Ford delivers the highest quality products and standards of service. And then Tom Ford to Melania, what they say, not you can choke.
But it's the picture is
New York from Flavor of Flav. I thought that was pretty funny. Twitter they come with it. I enjoy that.
They're funny.
I think that's it. That's all I want to talk about today. Do you have anything else?
No, that's it, boo.
That's it. That's Black Twitter Talk today, y'all. Thanks for joining us. As always, you can find me on Twitter at Angie_Skates and on the gram at Big_. And
you know where to find me on Twitter and Instagram at The Urban Gypsy LA. Make sure you guys comment, subscribe, let us know what y'all think.
See y'all next week.
Hey.
From executives Keven Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio. Instagram me at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in. The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.